Hello. Hello. Anyone around here speak basketball?
This is Adam Silver.
Welcome to the Confederacy of Dunks
Basketball Podcast.
I am your host, Freddie Rivas. And who, sir, looking nice and fresh, are you on the other side?
If you check out my LinkedIn, I am the producer. Psych, I don't have a LinkedIn, but if I did, it'd be on there.
Honestly, this is a chaotic start. Thank you so much, Matty D. I thought you had a LinkedIn. Shame on me. If you're tuning into this podcast for the first time, you're coming back. Thank you regardless. We are Confederacy of Dunks. We're on Raptors Republic.
Yeah.
We're fans, analysts, comedians, actors. We're all basically just hardcore Raptors / NBA fans.
Mhm.
And thanks for checking us out. Maddie, let the people know, all the good stuff.
I will say again, thank you for listening to our season 9 of the Confederacy of Dunks. We are officially in the off-season basketball funhouse.
Wow.
What we call it. So, strap in, give us your tickets. Here we go. Check out the funhouse. We continue throughout the summer, right until October when the new season starts. And that is when our season 10 will premiere. So there'll be some time off here and there. We are going to take next week off. We're going to take a week off. So we will have a 2-week break after this to soak up some more free agent news that's coming. But yeah, go to dunkspodcast.com. We've got all our stuff there, as well as raptorsrepublic.com. We've got our, link tree set up on our social media, so it can kind of take you wherever you want to go, to our YouTube on Raptors Republic as well. If you would like to watch some of the segments, we're trying something a little different right now, or we're just putting a few segments on the YouTube. And then, as always, the full episode is always on the Rapcast on your favorite podcatcher.
Folks, you hear that? That's how it's done. That's a slick promo. Link tree. There's Matt's just hitting all the marks these days. He's a vet's vet, and I'm lucky to have him. And yeah, we're gonna take next week off. I'm gonna be at Canada's Wonderland every single day, riding every ride. Because
just standing on the mountain
for sure. Yeah, I'll be so if you want to check me out, I'll be standing on the mountain and someone will push me off and I'll fall into the big pool.
Yeah, Freddie will be diving all week.
For sure. Oh, yeah, I'm the professional diver. Eat a lot of funnel cakes so that they don't have to pay me. Okay, let's get going here. But before we do, I'll just say free Brittany Griner. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you can Google Brittany's name. One of the best athletes going right now, and unfortunately in a horrible nightmare of a situation. So anything you can do to get involved or get informed, I encourage you to do. Okay, this isn't usually my territory. I usually don't jump on sort of big ticket rumors. But I think there's a bunch of interesting conversation to be had here. It came on the Low Post with Sean Marks, and with all the stuff that was going on with Kyrie and KD. And I know that Kyrie has, signed his 1 year. Doesn't mean that he won't be traded still. But obviously the league is starting to wonder what's going on with KD. Does he want to stick around? And this just could be summer stuff, but I think it was interesting that Zach Lowe said that the first call would be to the Raptors about Scottie Barnes, and he made the joke that every Raptors fan or every Canadian is going to throw their Timmy's cup against the wall, sort of thing. And my gut reaction was, what are you talking about, Scottie Barnes? Like, under no circumstance. But I'm interested to hear both of your thoughts, because I gotta say I've turned around a little bit on that hard stance, which is interesting and new feeling for me as a Raptor fan, because I've been pretty, stay the course type person. But let's go to you first, John. Simply put, like, we don't have to get into all the mechanics and picks and all that kind of stuff, but in principle, would you trade Scottie Barnes for Kevin Durant?
So it's funny, because every time I've been asked a question like this for other franchises in the past, I've always said, well, you're getting an opportunity to trade for an established superstar, generational talent. You're supposed to do it, because your hope is that the young player that you have will eventually become Kevin Durant. So like I say, would I trade Scottie Barnes for Kevin Durant? You know what? Like, technically you should, if that's all you're giving up along with picks, right? But I just feel like in this case I wouldn't, because we just had a crack at a top 5 pick. It's not every day that we get this opportunity. And I do think that he developed so much in year one that I really do think he can be that superstar talent. Not on Kevin Durant's level. Not Kevin Durant's a generational talent.
Mm-hmm.
I understand he's got term left. And it's funny, because if we do trade Scottie Barnes for Kevin Durant along with a surplus of draft picks, we're instantly title contenders. So, I mean, technically you shouldn't, you hope to get those guys. And if the opportunity of getting Kevin Durant, every team should jump at it. But I really do think Scottie Barnes has the potential to be really, really special. And I mean, he's just scratching the surface. So honestly, I wouldn't, because I do feel like he's a guy that we can build around, and we have more room for error with him. Right. So that's why I kind of like the idea of just sticking with him and then seeing how we can build around him. I wouldn't do it. Crazy enough, I just wouldn't do it.
No, that's not, crazy. I think that's like the rational take. But you hit on the main reason that's given me pause here in just this hypothetical. So, again, my instinct is to be like, wait a second, we're good now. Everyone in our team's getting better. Watching Pascal and Scottie play together, and things are just so good. I feel like we have this sort of trajectory to be a 50-win team for many years in a row if we're managed properly. And why you mess with that, you don't really mess with that. And I think the direct comparison, people obviously jump to DeMar Kawhi scenario, but what you hit on that I feel like pushes me in this hypothetical direction is term. And I'm not, with a guy like Kevin Durant, like, I'm not scared of the money necessarily. I don't. People are like, oh my God, like $45 million. It's like, well, that's what the very best players in the league cost. Like, that's just kind of like what's what. And I do think sometimes we have this obsession with young players, and we think their trajectory is just like totally exponentially straight up. And it's not necessarily. And I too think Scottie is going to be like a crazy special player. I think there'd be so much risk. Like, Kevin Durant could get injured. I think there's just so much volatility in a trade like that. But at the same time, I start to, kind of have that NBA 2K, like, looking around at, like, wait a second, Fred, OG, Pascal, KD, like, this is absolutely, a contender. And then I think that would also put us in this place that I don't remember ever being as a Raptor fan, where we would just have like a glut of ring chasers. We would have all sorts of incredible veterans who are like, hey, I'll take the discount to come play with you guys. And yeah, I think obviously I've gone probably too far with this take, and the simple thing is like, nah, it's fine. We don't have to trade Scottie Barnes. But yeah, I don't know. Like, where are you at, Alison?
Well, I'm a huge KD fan, but I got 2 words for this, and it's hell no. So I think you could probably argue that he's maybe one of the top 5 players in the history of the league. Absolutely elite skill set for his size, but he turns 34 in September. Mm-hmm. And I think the risk reward ratio is just tilted too far towards risk. And the ask for him would be so big, and it would hamstring the Raptors for years down the road. And I mean, the Nets want another rotation player plus Scottie. And how do you even begin to match the salary there? So I just think it's too much. I'm going to say no to that.
Very, very fair and very reasoned. And, it's funny. Like I'm usually a hell no to stuff like this because I also feel like a little bit, I don't know, as a Raptor fan, burned over the years with chasing stars. And I'm sort of down with this Masai approach to be like, hey, I did the thing with Kawhi. We won a championship. Kawhi left still. So I want to have this like fully organic dynasty. So, I'm with you. I think the risk reward is absolutely outsized. And also I'm just, I think I also feel like Kevin Durant is he's proven me wrong as far as coming back from injury and like how well he's played. And I also see some of the similarities with the way we were able to load manage Kawhi. I feel like we'd have a strong enough team where we could say, okay, you're playing half the games. You're playing, back-to-backs. Like we're just treating you like a total assassin. But I'm gonna walk it back because I feel like anyone that's listening to this podcast might unsubscribe because it is wild to even entertain the idea of trading Scottie Barnes. But for me, yeah, it's different than the DeAndre Ayton or Rudy Gobert rumors and stuff like that. For me, I have to pause when I hear a name like Kevin Durant. But I think let's talk some NBA. Maddie, if you would, give me your loudest, Weird Al-iest NBA sting.
This is Adam Silverhawk.
I am so happy that it was. Oh wow. You know what? That's a keeper. Like, dude, that's a keeper. Okay. Listen, I just want to throw a request. If you're doing like 90s comedy gems, give me some Super Dave Osborne. Okay?
That'd be a good one.
If you give me some Super Dave for the Gen Zs out there, honestly, that show holds up. Go check out Super Dave Osborne on YouTube. It's so weird and amazing.
Shout out to Hamilton.
Yeah, shout out to Hamilton. Yeah, was it all filmed there?
Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah. Hamilton, a lot of stuff films there. I'll go to you first, Allison. And so my last question here is John asked before we started recording, and just for folks listening, I'm not necessarily free agent. Could be a trade. I'm just thinking like a big name changing cities. So of all the players, right now it's this podcast is coming out on June 29th. Free agency is right about to begin, but whether it's through free agency or a trade, who do you think is the biggest name to change teams?
Oh man, I went with, this is entirely subjective, and I went with a couple players that I really, really like, and I'll just mention Jalen Brunson. He's not the biggest name, but I've always been a fan. He's a really nice complement to Luka on that roster.
Mm-hmm.
But this year with Luka out, he really showed his ability to step up and lead the team. They didn't get as far as they wanted, but he really carried the Mavs when Luka was injured. I think he would be a really significant addition to a team that's looking to go deep. And it sounds like Dallas is going to have to go deep into their pockets to keep him. So, after his playoff run, it's clear he's going to get paid. He has the potential to be a franchise changer, just, wherever he ends up. And DeAndre Ayton was the other player that I really like and who I think can make a splash somewhere. I think they're both restricted, but
yeah, there's noise there for sure, right? I've been reading about Brunson the past couple of days, and DeAndre Ayton was my backup because if he's a first overall pick, I think people forget that. His first year in the playoffs, he went to the finals. So it's a big name to change teams. John, who's your who do you think is going to change teams? Like the I guess the biggest name out there.
depending on the news, I would have said Kyrie or Durant, but I guess
Mhm.
that buys him another year just because Kyrie did opt in. Can't really. It doesn't seem like there's too many big names, but I think one big name that could be on the move is either Donovan Mitchell or Rudy Gobert. I mean,
Mhm.
I think the Utah Jazz need to just make a change. It's kind of like the
Yeah.
Raptors. I mean, they bring back the same group every year. They have regular season success. Quinn Snyder, I mean, stepped down as a mutual departure. I just don't know how they're gonna become better. He was such a great coach. He did such a great job with that group. I think he just did. I mean, he maximized their potential, and they just went as far as they could go. And I think that they just need to change up and shake the chemistry up a little bit. So I think Donovan Mitchell, I would personally rather keep Rudy Gobert. I know that Donovan Mitchell is just, I mean, more marketable, and he's just like a star ball handler and everything. So I know that they'd like to keep him, but I think that he could be on the move. And another guy that I think kind of is a little under the radar, I'm not even sure if he's in trade rumors too much, but is Jamal Murray. Maybe the Nuggets just want to kind
Ooh.
of shake things up a little bit, and just they saw how well Jokic did without him in the lineup. I understand that he is a big piece, but maybe there's a chance that they could get somebody a bit more seasoned than him and package him. And he's still young enough, he's talented enough, and I know he's coming off an injury, but maybe somebody's going to be willing to kind of take a chance with him and trade a star who's kind of on an expiring contract. I'm not sure, or under more term, I'm not sure who that is, but that's a guy who I could see maybe Denver wanting to shake things up in trading him.
Jamal Murray, that's juicy. I like that. So yeah, my guy was Gobert. My backup was Ayton. I totally agree with you. I think that Utah has like hit that mark. Snyder was the first kind of ball to drop, and I think they're gonna, as much as they've talked about trading Donovan Mitchell, I think they're gonna try and salvage that situation by trading Gobert. I think that yeah, he makes a lot of money and should be, should be a big, that a lot of teams consider, but I think there are some kind of hangups there. And my sneaky one, and as sort of in the same vein, a little bit as your Jamal Murray pick, I think he wanted out, past couple years, but Cleveland was really good this year, and I think that there's an opportunity for Cleveland to say, hey, actually now's the time to depart with Kevin Love. And I think that they're building, for the future. He was a really good part of this team. And maybe they just ride it out and keep it as a vet. But I think it's sort of like his value's risen. So I feel like some team is going to be like, you know what? We have a little bit of cap space and we could use a guy like that. And he's a great shooter, etc. And, we need more scoring, whether it's like a Miami or whatever. Like I'm thinking like something like a Duncan Robinson and somebody else for Kevin Love, who knows? But yeah, Kevin Love's kind of my sneaky pick there. I got my eyes on Shea, but also I feel like that's one of those things that Canada's and Toronto's really trying to talk into existence. And honestly, I feel like as much of a weird kind of disaster as the Thunder are at times, I don't think they're gonna move on from Shea. He's so good, so young. But yeah, that about does it for the pod. Yeah, thank you both so much for doing the show.
It was fun. Thanks for the invite.
Anytime. Hopefully, can make it back soon.
Yeah, totally. Next time you come back, I'm gonna have better internet. Okay. But yeah, let's go to you first, Alison. Is there anything you want to plug? Where can people check out? What we're gonna obviously put your Twitter up. Raptors Queens, or also anything you want to just say to people.
Yeah, check us out. We're on Spotify and all the podcast sources. We're kind of taking a hiatus for the summer, but looking forward to the regular season starting. And as I always say, just want to remind everyone there is a climate emergency.
Yeah, that's it bears reminding. I feel like people like to forget about that, and it's pretty scary. So thanks for saying that, Alison. But John, what's up? What do you want to let people know? What are you up to?
Well, just right now, I'm just helping my parents out at their shop. Just George's Deli again, George's Deli and Barbecue on the southeast corner of Bloor and Bathurst. Great homemade burgers, great chicken, and if I'm in the store, you can chop it up, some NBA talk, any sports, like for Freddie said, I'm pretty diverse. So I always love talking to my customers, especially about sports. Just don't get me going too long because maybe your food's going to get a little too cold because I can go on for hours.
You can, but it's worth it. Okay. That's a part of the experience.
So yeah, support small business as always. It's been a rough couple of years, but yeah, it's great to see that Freddie kept going with the podcast. Great to see him. Look, he's big time now. Raptors Republic now. He's big time. Remember when he started with Maddie, and I think there was one guy, Kevin, right?
Kevin Douse, man. OG.
I remember, years ago. And now look at him, he's big time. So yeah, I mean, he's it's great to see it. Honestly, it's just great to see it.
Well, thank you. I really, really appreciate that. It's been a fun road, and we're obsessed. So it's nothing stopping us or slowing us down. We're having a good time in Raptors Republic. And
I need to hear Maddie's thoughts on Nazem Kadri winning the cup. Well, Maddie, you gotta give me your thoughts here.
Maddie.
Super happy for Naz.
There you go.
Huge moment. Yeah, I was very happy for Naz. I've always been very pro Kadri. Loved his little comment at the end of the game. Everyone who thought I was a liability can kiss my ass. Hilarious. But I will say, Kadri, you are a liability still. There is truth in that, but I would still take you on a playoff team for sure. So yeah, super happy for the Colorado Avalanche too. Because, all I'll say is that, hey, you beat the Leafs in the first round and you go to the cup, you're 0 for 3. So it's not, you don't want to face the Leafs in the first round, okay?
Or just
we tire you. But as a hardcore Leafs fan, I think we should trade Matthews for Kadri and Kessel.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Two free agents.
Yeah, that's not even how it works at all. They're not on the same team. 2 free agents. Get it done, Dubas. You know what I mean? Just kidding. Again, thanks to everyone who's been listening to the podcast, supporting, and helping us grow. Subscribe, follow Raptors Republic. There's so much good draft stuff going on right now, and Summer League's right around the corner. Free agency's right around the corner, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. Maddie, if you feel like we're good, we're done, and we're good to go. Give me those words I love so much. Okay.
Listen to full episodes of the Confederacy of Dunks only on the Rapcast.